Most Ford owners spend years driving their trucks without ever unlocking half of what they're actually capable of. I'm talking about features already built in, already paid for, already sitting right there in your vehicle right now. I've spent over 15 years working on Fords, and I've put together 11 features that will completely change how you use your truck. Feature number 11 is going to blow your mind. Let's get into it. The trailer light check you can do completely alone. If you've ever hooked up a trailer by yourself, you know the problem. You connect everything, then you have to walk back and forth between the cab and the trailer, checking brake lights, turn signals, and running lights. If something isn't working, you're disconnecting and reconnecting, trying to figure out where the fault is. Most owners don't know that Ford built a solution directly into the instrument cluster menu. Here's how to use it. Hook your trailer up and connect the wiring harness. Get in the cab and navigate your instrument cluster using the left side steering wheel buttons. Scroll until you find the trailer option. Under trailer settings, you'll see a function called trailer light check or trailer lamp test depending on your model year. Select it. From inside the cab, your Ford cycles through every trailer light function automatically. Brake lights flash, turn signals cycle left and right, running lights activate. The screen tells you which lights are firing and whether the system detects any wiring faults. You don't need a second person, you don't need to sprint back and forth. The entire check happens while you're sitting in the driver's seat. This feature is available on most F-150s, Super Duties, and Rangers from 2017 onward, equipped with the factory trailer tow package. If you tow anything at all, this feature alone is worth memorizing. It saves 10 to 15 minutes every single time you hook up. The tire fill alert that inflates your tires perfectly every time. Inflating tires to the correct pressure has always been a two-person job. One person crouches next to the tire holding the gauge, while the other runs the compressor. You guess, you overfill, you bleed pressure, you check again. Ford built a system that eliminates this entirely on most vehicles from 2013 onward. Navigate to your instrument cluster menu and find the TPMS or tire pressure monitor section. Inside that menu, there's an option called Tire Fill Alert. Enable it, then start inflating your tire. As the tire approaches the target pressure for that specific position, your Ford gives you audible and visual alerts. The horn chirps and the hazard lights flash. One short alert means you're getting close. A longer confirmation alert means you've hit the exact correct pressure. If you go over, the horn sounds repeatedly until you bleed air back down to the right level. The system knows the correct pressure for each individual tire position based on your vehicle's specifications. It's not a generic number, it's the actual recommended pressure for front left, front right, rear left, and rear right, specific to your Ford. You don't need a gauge. You don't need to stop and check. The truck tells you exactly when to stop. This is one of the most practical hidden features Ford has ever included, and the overwhelming majority of owners have never used it because nobody tells them it exists during vehicle delivery. The MyKey speed limiter for anyone you hand the keys to. If you have a teenager driving your Ford, or if you hand the keys to someone you don't fully trust yet, there's a built-in feature that gives you real control over how fast that vehicle can be driven. Ford's MyKey system lets you program a secondary key fob that has permanent speed restrictions enforced at the vehicle computer level. The truck physically cannot exceed the limit you set, regardless of what the driver does with the accelerator. Here's how to set it up. In your touchscreen, navigate to settings and then find the MyKey menu. You can set a maximum speed cap, typically between 45 and 80 miles per hour. Once programmed, anytime that specific fob starts the vehicle, the speed limit is active. The speedometer displays a warning as the vehicle approaches the limit, and the engine simply won't push past it. MyKey also sets a persistent volume cap on the audio system, forces safety belt reminders, keeps traction control from being disabled, and prevents driver assistance features from being switched off. The teen driving your truck cannot override any of it. Your admin key, which you keep, cancels all restrictions instantly. When you drive, the truck behaves completely normally. This system costs nothing because it's already in your Ford. No subscription, no app, no honor system. The restrictions are enforced by the truck's own computer. Remote start from the key fob without the app. A lot of Ford owners either don't have Ford Pass set up or prefer not to use their phone for every vehicle function. Here's what most people miss. Your key fob can remote start your Ford directly without any phone, app, or cellular connection. The sequence is specific and you'll never figure it out by accident. Press the lock button once. Then within 3 seconds, press and hold the remote start button, which looks like a circular arrow on most Ford fobs. Hold it for about 2 seconds, the parking lights flash and the engine starts. That's the complete sequence. Lock once, then hold remote start. Simple, but you have to press lock first every single time. If you skip the lock press and go straight to holding remote start, nothing happens. That first step is what every owner misses. On most modern Fords, the engine runs for 10 minutes by default. Some models let you extend to 20 minutes by repeating the start sequence while the engine is already running. The climate control activates based on your last settings. The truck stays locked the entire time. Nobody can drive it without a valid fob inside the cab. If your key fob has a remote start button and you've never used this sequence, you've been walking out to a cold or scorching truck every single day when you didn't have to. The hidden flat workspace inside your center console. The standard F-150 center console armrest is something every owner uses, but most people never discover what Ford hid underneath it. On F-150s, equipped with the front center console, the armrest pad slides forward toward the dashboard. Grab the top of the armrest and push it forward. The entire surface moves. When you slide it forward, the armrest repositions to create a flat, stable work surface significantly larger than what was there before. This was specifically designed for owners who use their truck as a mobile office. The repositioned surface is large enough for a laptop, a notepad, paperwork, or a meal without balancing anything awkwardly on your lap. Some console configurations also reveal a fold-out cup holder at the rear of the console when the armrest slides forward, replacing the space the armrest previously occupied. On Super Duty trucks, the rear section of the center console includes a fold-down panel that creates an extended flat surface reaching toward the rear seat area, useful for spreading out plans, maps, or documents. Ford engineered these features for work truck users who spend significant time parked inside their cab. They just never put it in the commercial or mentioned it during delivery. Spend 2 minutes with your center console and you might find a workspace you've been paying for without knowing it existed. Stop and go adaptive cruise control in traffic. Many Ford owners know they have adaptive cruise control, but treat it exactly like traditional cruise control from 20 years ago. They turn it off in traffic and only use it on open highways. If your Ford has stop and go adaptive cruise, you are dramatically underusing one of the most valuable features on the vehicle. Stop and go doesn't just maintain your speed, it follows the vehicle ahead of you all the way down to a complete stop. And when traffic moves again, it accelerates back up to your set speed without any input from you. In stop and go highway commuter traffic, this is transformative. You are not touching the brakes, you are not touching the accelerator, and the truck handles everything. Here's the part most owners miss. When stop and go adaptive cruise brings you to a complete stop and traffic begins moving, the truck will hold for a brief moment and display a resume prompt. A single tap of the accelerator or a press of the resume button on the steering wheel gets you moving again. Some newer models resume automatically after a short delay without any input. To confirm whether your Ford has stop and go capability, check the driver assistance section in your touchscreen settings. If you see a reference to the system holding at a complete stop, you have the full feature. Using it correctly in commuter traffic reduces driver fatigue dramatically on long drives through congestion. This is not a highway-only feature, and most owners who have it never use it because they don't know it works in traffic. The easy exit seat memory that moves the truck out of your way. Getting in and out of a modern Ford truck, especially a lifted one, can be physically demanding. There's a memory seat feature built into most Fords with power driver seats that addresses exactly this, and almost nobody uses it because it's buried in a settings menu and never mentioned at the dealership. The feature is called Easy Entry and Exit, and here's exactly what it does. When you shift into park and open the driver's door, the seat automatically moves backward and the steering column tilts up. This creates significantly more clearance between the seat and the door opening, making it easier to step out. When you get back in, close the door and shift out of park. The seat returns automatically to your saved position every single time without pressing any buttons. To activate it, go to Vehicle Settings on your touchscreen, then navigate to Seating. You'll find the Easy Exit option there. Enable it, and it links to your saved seat memory profile. This feature is particularly valuable for older drivers, anyone with back or knee issues, or anyone who finds the entry and exit of a tall, modern truck physically challenging. Ford engineered this thoughtfully and then buried it in a menu where almost nobody finds it without being told exactly where to look. Understanding trailer sway control so it actually saves you. Ford's trailer sway control is a feature most towing owners don't fully understand, and that misunderstanding creates genuinely dangerous situations. When the system detects trailer sway, it applies individual brakes and reduces engine power to stabilize the combination. This is correct behavior, but when it activates, many owners panic and their instincts are wrong. When trailer sway control fires, you feel the truck pulling in different directions as individual brakes apply, and you feel a power reduction. The instinct for most drivers is to hit the brakes hard and steer against the sway. Both responses make the situation significantly worse. Hard braking while the system is correcting sway can destabilize the combination further. Steering against the sway fights the system's electronic corrections. The correct response is to hold the steering wheel firmly, point it straight down the road, do not steer into or against the sway, and do not press the brake pedal unless you need an emergency stop. The system was calibrated to make corrections electronically far faster than any human driver can respond. Your job is to hold straight and let it work. Ford covers this in the towing section of the owner's manual, but almost nobody reads those pages before they start towing. Understanding the correct response when this system activates is the difference between it working as designed and a driver fighting it at the worst possible moment. Instrument cluster screens you've never cycled through. Most Ford owners use two functions on their instrument cluster display: the fuel economy readout and the trip odometer. There are between 8 and 12 additional screens buried in that same cluster that most owners never reach, and several of them are genuinely useful for daily driving. Using the left side steering wheel buttons, you can cycle through screens showing real-time tire pressure readings for all 4 tires simultaneously. There's a compass heading display that becomes invaluable on backcountry roads without cell service. There's an oil life monitor showing the exact percentage remaining before your next service, rather than a generic warning light. There's a battery voltage display that can give you early warning of a failing alternator before you get stranded. On F-150s and Super Duties with the trailer package, there's a dedicated towing screen showing trailer brake gain, trailer battery charge status, and tongue weight estimation based on the truck's own suspension sensors in real time. Monitoring these values while towing gives you more situational awareness than most aftermarket trailer monitoring systems that owners buy and install separately. All of these screens are already in your cluster. You're not enabling anything, you're just pressing the left arrow button more times than you usually do. Take 5 minutes in your driveway to scroll through every available screen. You may find information you've been driving without for years. Pre-collision assist sensitivity settings that most owners never touch.
Pre-collision assist on modern Fords does something most owners fundamentally misunderstand. The majority know it will warn them of an impending collision with a beep and a visual alert. What most don't know is that it can also apply the brakes independently without driver input, and the threshold at which it intervenes is adjustable. In your touchscreen, navigate to driver assistance and find the pre-collision assist settings. You'll see options for alert sensitivity and a separate auto brake setting that controls whether the system intervenes with braking on its own. At higher sensitivity, the system intervenes sooner and more aggressively. At lower sensitivity, you reduce false activations from overpass structures passing trucks on curves or construction barriers that the radar briefly misreads as threats. The pedestrian detection component has completely separate sensitivity settings from the vehicle detection component. Urban driving with heavy foot traffic may call for higher pedestrian sensitivity. Highway driving where pedestrian false positives are more common may call for lower sensitivity. Neither setting is universally correct. The right choice depends on your driving environment. Spending 5 minutes calibrating pre-collision assist to your actual conditions makes it dramatically more effective and eliminates the false alerts that cause frustrated owners to turn the entire system off permanently. Feature 11, the power running board trick that almost nobody knows. If your Ford is equipped with power running boards, you know they fold up while driving and deploy when you open the doors. That basic behavior everyone figures out on day one, but there is a capability locked inside those running boards that the overwhelming majority of owners never discover, and once you learn it, you'll use it constantly. In your touchscreen settings, navigate to Vehicle Settings, and then Accessories or Running Boards depending on your model year. Inside this menu, you'll find options to control when the running boards deploy and retract independently from the door sensors. But here's the feature that changes everything. On most equipped Ford trucks, there is a setting that allows you to deploy both running boards simultaneously using the key fob without opening any door at all. Stand at the rear of your truck with your arms completely full of gear or supplies. Press the unlock button twice in quick succession. With this setting enabled, both running boards deploy simultaneously, giving you a step to load cargo into the bed, access the tailgate area, or climb up on the side of the truck without opening a door or putting anything down. You can also configure the running boards to stay deployed while you're working in the bed. Normally they retract on a timer after the door closes. With the stay deployed setting active, they remain down as a step until you manually retract them or start driving. This turns your power running boards from an entry and exit convenience feature into a deployable work platform step that activates on command from the fob. Most owners with power running boards use about 10% of their actual capability because nobody covers this during delivery. The hardware for all of these behaviors is already on your truck. The only thing missing was the information to unlock them. Your Ford was engineered by teams of people who spent years designing features that make this truck better than almost anything else on the road. Most of those features sit completely dormant because the dealership had 15 minutes to walk through the whole vehicle during delivery and spent it showing you how to pair your phone via Bluetooth. Take a Saturday morning and go through your settings menus. Test the tire fill alert. Enable the easy exit seat. Explore every cluster screen. Try the trailer light check the next time you hook up. Deploy those running boards from the fob. You paid for all of it already. You might as well use it. If this gave you something new, smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and drop a comment below telling me which of these 11 features surprised you most. Share this with another Ford owner who's been driving their truck without knowing half of what it can do. I'll see you in the next one.